Hi, this is Pam Smith with Farm Journal Magazine, and I'm here with Brent Philbrook from Bayer CropScience. And Brent, you guys have got a program going called Respect the Rotation. What is that exactly?
Respect the Rotation is a forum for Bayer to discuss keeping our herbicide tools viable and avoiding weed resistance. So it's a chance for us to steward our products as well as other products with our customers and growers to make sure that all of our weed control tools stay viable and our growers can control their weeds efficiently and sustainable with expected profitability.
You know, one of the things, the South has really struggled with weed resistance, but the Midwest has lagged them a little bit. So do you have a hard time getting growers in the Midwest to listen to your message?
Well, yes, we do, but on the other hand, I think they're starting to see some things that cause them concern. They realize that they've dealt with weed resistance before. With other modes of action, and it occurs the same way. And now with all of the exposure to glyphosate and the value of that product, they realize that they're really exposing themselves to selecting for resistant weeds. And they know neighbors or they know people in the area that already have some of these weeds on their farm. And when they look at the South as a model of what may happen, what may progress in the North, I think they're starting to become more keen to listen to this discussion and participate.
So Bayer CropScience is obviously connected with LibertyLink and Ignite glufosinate, and that's an alternative chemistry to glyphosate. But one of the things that I've always heard you guys say is that rotating to that different mode of action, I guess, is a way to save glyphosate. Is that part of this Respect the Rotation?
Exactly. Again, we don't want to displace glyphosate. This is a great tool. We don't want to shelve it. We want to keep it viable. But to keep it viable, you're going to have to use other modes of action. The beauty of the LibertyLink and glufosinate or Ignite system is it is a trait married with a non-selective material, a herbicide that will control all weeds. So that pattern is very similar to what growers have become accustomed to. But out front we're trying to say, if you use this product the same way you've used other products, singular, and just keep driving that program, you're going to end up in the same place. So we like to talk about different ways to use other herbicides. We like to use different modes of action as a pre-emergent setup, then plan the follow-up with your Ignite herbicide. And you can do that in both corn and beans. We also talk about rotating crops, giving yourself other opportunities to use differing herbicides. Even crops that we may have gotten away from, cereal grains and meadow crops, they have different competition factors with the weeds that are coming up in them. And if you choose to go to something like these crops, you not only give yourself a chance to use other herbicides, but you actually favor a whole different set of weeds. And this helps you manage weeds and weed selection exposure over many seasons. Keeps all your tools viable.
So rotate chemistry, modes of action,
right,
and crops.
Rotating crops, rotating the use of traits. We have herbicide traits in our crops now. It gives us the opportunity to use specific herbicides. But we can rotate the herbicides we select on those traits. We either have to plan on the crop to have a different trait so it accepts Ignite rather than Roundup, or we have to have stacked traits where we can select one or the other to use in that particular crop. Also bring in some pre-emergence herbicides, Corvus, something else that is an overlapping effective herbicide technology for your target weeds. And then when you rotate, so we've got rotating of traits, rotating of modes of action, and when you rotate crops, as I mentioned before, you have a chance to use different herbicides, you have different weed competition. All of these factors help you rotate those modes of action, the exposure to herbicides, and keeps all of the tools viable. You use this strategy in conjunction with other integrated weed management, and you should have all herbicide and all weed control tools viable for you in the future.
All right, thank you very much, Brent.